Imagine the neon glow of Moscow's three stations at night. Or maybe just the quiet rocking of a train, carrying a secret that's about to unravel into this huge web of crime and corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a stack of sources, basically, captivating excerpts from Martin Cruz Smith's novel Three Stations, and we're going deep.
Yeah, we're trying to pull out the really key insights here, give you a shortcut to understanding this fictional Moscow, its mysteries, and how everything surprisingly connects.
Exactly. Get ready for some unexpected twists and maybe some aha moments along the way. We kick things off with two things that seem totally separate at first. A desperate teenage mother's journey and a body found under mysterious circumstances.
Right, two very different threads to start.
Okay, let's unpack this first one. It's incredibly poignant, actually. Our sources introduce us to Maya. She's described as a stick figure in torn jeans and a bomber jacket. Just 15.
15, yeah. And traveling hard class on a train into Moscow.
And what's she hiding? A tiny baby girl, only 3 weeks old, tightly swaddled and lulled by the rocking of the train.
And what strikes you immediately is just how vulnerable they are. I mean, Maya, she's apparently been drug-free for 7 months, but she's trying to nurse the baby and sneak a smoke in the vestibule.
Yeah.
And then a soldier confronts her.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, what kind of desperation leads a young mother to travel like this, hiding her own child?
And just when you think it can't get any worse for her, this figure appears. An old woman, a babushka, Helena Ivanova, but she's called Auntie Lena.
Right, and she is not messing around.
Not at all. Pulls a knife, threatens the soldier, says she'll geld him next time, gives him this vigorous kick.
Sets him running.
Yeah, and then Auntie Lena offers Maya tea. It seems like she's watching over them while Maya finally gets some sleep. It feels like this moment of, I don't know, almost brutal protection.
It's such a striking reversal, isn't it? Because Auntie Lena seems like a savior at first. A guardian angel, maybe?
Yes.
But then comes the real gut punch. Maya wakes up. The train stopped. It's empty. And both her bags are gone. One had her stuff, the other.
The baby.
The baby. Gone. Auntie Lena's vanished. The baby's been stolen. That immediate betrayal just completely flips our perception of her.
Okay, wow. So now let's pivot. Completely different scene. We're in Moscow proper at Komsomol Square, but locals just call it Three Stations, a key location.
The sources paint this really vivid picture. By day, it's a Circus Maximus with cars, just bustling chaos. But at night, it transforms, as exotic as opera sets.
Yeah, they describe Leningrad Station like a Venetian palace, Kazansky an Oriental mosque, and Yaroslavl, it has a clown's face and cap.
It's this convergence point, isn't it, for what the source calls a court of miracles. Pickpockets, street kids, prostitutes, just everyone on the margins.
And understanding that location is really crucial. It's this nexus point where desperation meets danger. The sources even mention prostitution there can be as cheap as, what, $5?
$5, yeah. It immediately sets this backdrop of harsh realities, of social decay that really runs through the whole story.
So enter our main character, Senior Investigator Arkady Renko. He's feeling ignored by his bosses, thinking about quitting, actually.
Right, kind of disillusioned.
And he gets called to this worker's trailer near Yaroslav Station. Inside, he finds a body. A young woman, maybe 18 or 19. Light blue eyes, and this distinctive butterfly tattoo on her left hip.
Which, as the text notes, is often a motif among prostitutes in that area.
She's found nude from the waist down, legs crossed. There is a half-empty vodka bottle nearby, and an aspirin bottle with this yellow powder.
Which is later tentatively ID'd as clonidine. It's a blood pressure drug, but apparently sometimes abused as a kind of knockout pill.
So the initial reaction from the railway police captain call is just dismissive.
Yeah, chillingly so. Just another dead whore, he says. Typical for Three Stations.
But Arkady and his partner, Victor Orlov, who's described as famously alcoholic but still sharp.
Very capable, yeah.
They're suspicious straight away. They notice there aren't any obvious cuts, no bruises. Victor's first thought is maybe she tried to drug and rob someone, but it backfired.
Right, maybe she got spiked herself. But it immediately sets up this question, doesn't it? Is she really just another anonymous street victim, or is there something much, much more complicated going on here?
Arkady and Victor, they just can't let it go. That suspicion, so they seek out Dr. Willy Pasenko.
Ah, Willy. The retired pathologist who literally lives in a utility room at the morgue.
Yeah, surrounded by bodies. The source even mentions one that, well, it farts.
Ah, yes. A grim detail. But Willy, despite his own health problems, he agrees. an unofficial autopsy.
And Willie's sharp eye is just what they need. He confirms, yeah, no bruises, no scratches. But more importantly, he dismisses the clonidine as the sole cause of death.
Right, he says it's a messy poison. It would cause choking on your vomit, and there was no sign of that in her windpipe.
So that immediately points away from the simple overdose theory.
Completely. It deepens the mystery.
So what does he find? The crucial moment comes when Willie cuts into her lung, and there's this distinct sweet smell.
Ether.
Ether, he says it definitively. Clonidine to knock her out, and ether to anesthetize and kill her, all without a struggle. Congratulations, you have a murder.
Wow. Okay.
So this isn't just a twist, it confirms it was deliberate, calculated, not just some street tragedy gone wrong.
And that specific forensic detail, the ether, it just changes everything about how we see this crime. It points to something professional, almost clinical, not your typical street crime outcome at all.
Yeah.
It makes you ask, who would use such a precise, cold method on someone they thought was just, a disposable streetwalker? The meticulousness suggests much higher stakes.
But the really shocking clue isn't actually on the body. Arkady finds the silver plastic card.
Oh, the VIP pass.
Yeah, a VIP pass to the Nijinsky luxury fair.
Yeah.
It was slipped under the vodka bottle. Well, that's a fascinating thread, right? It connects this grimy trailer at 3 stations to Moscow's absolute high society.
It's pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. It just shatters that initial story of her being a simple prostitute.
Totally.
The Nijinsky luxury fair, it's described as this super exclusive, high-stakes event. You've got famous athletes, supermodels, oligarchs like Asa Baron.
Right.
The contrast between where she was found and this pass is just, it's huge. It screams hidden life, doesn't it? Some kind of duality Arkady has to figure out.
So following this lead, Arkady goes to the fair. He shows the victim's photo around, and specifically to Anya Rudakova. She's a journalist and actually his new neighbor.
And Anya recognizes her instantly.
Yeah. The girl they called Olga. She's actually Vera Antonova, 19 years old, a student at Moscow State University, and a dancer at the Nijinsky Club, the very club hosting the fair.
Okay, so Vera's true identity just transforms the case. Her choreographer, Isa Spiridona, she describes Vera as a free spirit, ambitious, popular with millionaires.
Which makes finding her dead posed like a $5 prostitute at 3 stations.
Completely senseless, as Isa puts it. And then we learn about her background, too. It's tragic. Her parents died in a metro bombing. Her gay brother killed himself in the army because of hazing.
Oh, wow.
It gives her murder this profound weight, It's not just a statistic anymore. It's this deeply personal tragedy tangled up with these bigger, darker societal currents.
So Arkady starts digging into Vera's murder, but he hits a wall almost immediately. Systemic resistance.
Right. Prosecutor Zurin, who's described as a cork, someone who just floated through every political change.
Who survives everything.
And Colonel Malenkov, the precinct commander, they seem absolutely determined to just bury this case.
They tow away the trailer, the crime scene, they officially close Vera's case overdose, and then they suspend Arkady.
Accusing him of concocting cases, being a self-aggrandizing liar, is brutal.
It really highlights this theme that runs through the book, doesn't it? The state, the system, just covering up inconvenient truths. Zurin even manipulates the procedures, arranges a second hearing for Arkady's dismissal that Arkady doesn't even know about.
It's a stark reminder of the power they have. They can obstruct justice, silence people, no matter what the evidence says. Arkady's really up against it.
Okay, meanwhile, let's jump back to Maya's story, because that unveils something even darker, in a way. A human trafficking operation.
Yeah. Auntie Lena, the protector, turns out her name is Magdalena. She works with a partner, Vadim.
And they're part of this group called the Catchers.
Chilling name. And their method is chilling, too. They troll for girls on those hard-class trains, promising them this glamorous life as escorts in fancy clubs.
But it's a lie.
Total lie. They trap them in impossible debt, force them into prostitution.
And the sources suggest this network is just horrifyingly brutal and large-scale. Magdalena and Vadim, they're not just trafficking women, they're also involved in baby trafficking.
Right, which shows how utterly cold-blooded they are.
Yeah.
They arranged the sale of Maya's baby, Katya, to a general and his wife, and they even warned the buyers the baby might be damaged or sickly because she's a street foundling.
God, that's awful.
It just forces you to think, how many other desperate young women, how many babies have fallen into the hands of these catchers?
And we find out Maya herself was trapped in one of those clubs before. Her manager, Maddie, tells her she owes, get this, $81,450.
$81,000 for what?
Lost revenue, plus room and board because she got pregnant, So it's basically debt bondage, selling her back into servitude.
And the descriptions of what happens to the girls in those clubs. Waxed, plucked, breasts inflated like balloons, turned into freaks of beauty for clients. It's modern slavery, plain and simple.
God. Okay, so the deep dive also uncovers these other connections, right? Within Moscow's criminal underworld, remember the dwarf killed at the Nijinsky Fair? Pavel Maximov.
Yeah, the whack-a-mole guy.
Turns out he wasn't just that. He was a croupier at the Peter the Great casino. And that casino, it's Zhenya's secret hideout.
Ah, okay. See, the connections start layering up. And Vaksberg, the oligarch, later admits Maximov's death was just a simple robbery gone wrong.
But the underworld itself is shown as incredibly complex, almost layered, stratified. Victor does this deep dive into Maximov's prison tattoos.
Which is fascinating. It's like reading a criminal resume on his skin, a painting by the school of Rubens, depicting symbols for everything.
Like a Madonna and Child for honest criminals, cats for burglary.
3 tiers for 3 victims, meaning murders. A spider web like Dali's for heroin addiction. It's not just random ink, it's a whole coded language, a hierarchy.
And it gets even more layered. Itzy, he's the leader of those runaway kids who end up taking in Maya's baby, Katya.
Right.
He finds a cache of Afghan heroin, Tajik heroin, hidden under the crates they were using for firewood in the same railway shed where Vera's body was found.
Wow. Okay, so you've got murder, high society, baby trafficking, drug smuggling, all converging on this one derelict shed at 3 stations.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many different criminal enterprises are just operating right on top of each other, tangled together in Moscow, sometimes right out in the open.
Yeah, hidden in plain sight.
So despite being fired, basically, Arkady just keeps going.
Relentless.
He keeps investigating Vera's murder. Even when Zurin says his evidence is useless, threatens him with arrest. He's just a mere citizen now, operating outside the system.
But it's who he is,
Yeah.
right? The source says, an investigator left a person fit for little else. He can't just stop.
No.
And his partnership with Victor is key here, too. Victor, despite the serious alcoholism, he's fiercely loyal. Surprisingly effective. Their dynamic is such a contrast to the corrupt officials.
Definitely. Then there's Zhenya, Arkady's sort of unofficial ward. He starts off seeming quite detached, this sullen 15-year-old studying an English-Russian dictionary.
But he's sharp. Described as a genius who can spot a stolen phone just from the barcode, haggle with vendors. He thinks strategically, like Keth, anticipates your opponent's moves.
Yeah.
And his arc is really interesting. He starts as this withdrawn chess hustler, no experience with girls, awkward, either boastful or mute. But he gradually becomes this self-appointed, vaguely protective figure for Maya. He leads her to his secret hideout, that abandoned casino. He even shaves her head as a disguise. It's quite a transformation.
And his loyalty gets tested big time. Maya abandons him, takes his money, even after he helped her.
Yeah, that's rough.
But he still keeps trying to help her find the baby, even after being humiliated in a chess match. He really becomes this unlikely, almost accidental hero, doesn't he?
He really does, stepping up in unexpected ways.
And Anya Rudakova, the journalist, another key ally. We first meet her when Arkady helps her escape an abusive boyfriend. Then we see her at the luxury fair connected to Vaksberg.
Right. And later she's attacked. Brutally. Left for dead in her apartment, got a shit, spray painted on the wall.
Right.
Arkady finds her, saves her from anaphylactic shock. She has a milk allergy.
Just horrific. But her resilience is incredible.
Absolutely. Despite nearly dying, she refuses to just lie low. She's trying to write. She confronts a militia officer about supplies being stolen from a children's charity supplies from Vaksberg's own foundation.
And she's the one who exposes Vaksberg's financial skimming. Adds another layer of corruption to the whole picture. She's tough.
Incredibly tough.
Okay, so the killer. Here's where the pieces really start to fall into place, and it is genuinely chilling.
Yes. The serial killer is revealed to be Sergei Borodin, the aerial dancer from the Nijinsky Club.
The same Petruchka Arkady met earlier, and he's working with his mother, Madame Borodina. They're this terrifying duo with this really twisted, almost artistic motive.
And the pattern becomes clear. Sergei, despite being called talented, apparently handles women like chickens in a butcher shop. He's directly linked to the deaths of Vera Antonova, Inna Ustinova, Oksana Petrovna.
All dancers are aspiring dancers.
Exactly, and found dead in poses that Arkady connects to ballet positions. It's not random, it's like some grotesque performance art.
But the most shocking part, maybe, is the identity theft, the cover-up.
Ah, yes. Sergei and his mother cremated his friend, Roman Spiridon, who was the choreographer Isa Spiridona's son.
Right.
They cremated Roman under Sergei's name after Roman died by suicide.
So the morgue has Sergei Borodin listed as dead.
Precisely, when it was actually Roman's body, which allowed the real Sergei to keep killing, basically operating as a ghost.
Wow. That's elaborate.
It raises this really disturbing question.
Mm-hmm.
Are they using these women as models, as performers for Sergei's sick art? Arkady pushes their bubbles, suggests Sergei will play Nijinsky in a film, asks who will play the women in his life.
And what does Sergei say?
He admits trying out 5 women, says they all fell short, turned out to be whores, and then this chilling confession, we can't help it, we're monsters. He even claims Moscow is full of monsters that they summoned.
Ugh, monsters indeed. Okay, let's talk about Sasha Vaksberg again. The billionaire Prince of Darkness, owner of the Nijinsky Club.
Yeah, he's a fascinating study in power, isn't he? First, the Kremlin is shutting down his casinos, he seems cornered, but then later he's back, passport returned, hosting huge parties at the Hippodrome, looking for investors for racehorses. He just adapts.
He survives.
He absolutely does. And it shows you the reality of power in Moscow. Vaksberg admits he's on that little list of oligarchs targeted by the judo master in the Kremlin. A pretty clear Putin reference. But he navigates it. He shrugs off Anja's accusation about skimming charity funds as just normal business practice. Admits Maximov's killing was a robbery gone wrong, but deflects any blame. It's a masterclass in how power operates above accountability.
Okay, so everything comes to a head. The hunt for Maya, for the baby, for the truth. It culminates in these really dramatic confrontations.
Yeah, the catchers are closing in.
Right.
The one calling himself Yakov Lazovsky, he's relentlessly pursuing Maya and Katya. Arkady's life is constantly in danger, his old Lada being chased by these menacing black Hummers. High-speed chases through Moscow.
Sounds intense.
It is. And the resolution is, well, it's violent, but conclusive for some. The Borodins, mother and son, they crash their Hummer spectacularly after Sergei screams, I am God, both thrown through the windshield.
Wow.
And Lazovsky, the catcher who got into Arkady's gotcha, he's also killed in a final confrontation. Self-defense, but still, it makes you think, right? Does getting justice in this kind of system always require such extreme violent ends?
It's a heavy question. So
Okay.
after all that, where do things land for our main characters? What happens to the baby, Katya?
Well, Katya ends up with Itzy's group, the runaway kids.
Oh.
Still struggling, still surviving on the margins. She's even photographed by this mysterious figure, Anna Fritseva.
And the ending image described in the sources, it's quite poignant. A circus sets up at 3 stations, right where Vera's trailer was. Marionettes, a monkey, the old station piano playing out of tune. Russia set to music, as the source puts it.
Yeah, and Maya. Her hair is starting to grow back. A small sign, maybe, of a new beginning.
Maybe. And Arkady, he has this final thought. Some men chase butterflies. Others let butterflies come to them.
Patience, destiny, acceptance. It leaves you thinking.
So we've just taken this deep dive, really peeled back the layers of a fictional Moscow in 3 stations. We've untangled this complex web-stolen identities, trafficking, murder, power, corruption.
Yeah, all brought to life through Martin Cruz Smith's narrative. And you really see how those first impressions can be so wrong, how things that seem totally unrelated are actually chillingly connected.
And also how individual resilience, that stubborn sense of justice like Arkady's, can actually stand up against this overwhelming system.
Definitely. We've seen characters driven by desperation, by greed, even by this really warped sense of art. And the lines between victim and villain, they get pretty blurry sometimes, don't they?
They really do. This whole journey through this hidden side of Moscow, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, in our own world, where truth can definitely be stranger than fiction, how often do we miss those hidden connections, those silent struggles happening right under our noses?
Especially in places we think we know or places we overlook, like a busy train station or maybe even a fancy party.
Exactly. What invisible battles are being fought right now all around us, and what little clues, what VIP passes or unexpected connections might actually reveal them if we just looked closer.